a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dashers podcast. Grab a six pack.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 219 of the Drunk Dashers podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I'm okay, Tyler. Finished off another fantastic work week. Actually, it was kind of funny, on Friday, because, you know, you get like paid every couple weeks and this and that and stuff, but this past Friday was sort of easy at work because we only had so many pieces that we had to make for quota and for the rest of the week. And what was funny is just seeing all the random employees just go forth and, head out home early because they finished their stuff. They don't want to do like anything else if they don't have to. So here I am. It's like around 1:30 or so in the afternoon, and now granted I have to work till like about 3 o'clock. I chose to work till 3, but after like around that extent, I look around and there's only 2 other people, like myself and the guy that I'm working with, who's in his mid-70s and stuff. He's helping me, put out product and this and that. So it's just myself, my other coworker, and, 2 other supervisors that are the only ones left around, 3 o'clock when we clocked out. So basically the Friday started off pretty awesome there. And then, while trying to use stuff for grocery things, the later part of that day, all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, why isn't my debit card working? It was just it got declined a couple times and stuff. I went into the customer service for Wells Fargo because well, let's just say that I kind of wanted to use my debit card.
Yeah, obviously.
So about a half an hour of waiting, we end up finding out that they actually shut off the Visa, shut down the Visa things for the debit card things for a day.
Huh.
I know. It was kind of crazy. They didn't know what the issue was, but my card works today, which I'm very thankful.
Yeah.
Obviously. But other than that, though, I decided to do a little bit of shopping today, and possibly in another month or 2, I am going to be having a new laptop, which I'm undecided what I want to use it for now. The current plan with that is I'm going to keep the laptop that I'm using right now for our podcast.
Yeah,
because, hey, this streaming laptop is good for that. But as for my other computer, I'm kind of beside myself what I should use for it. And I think the main thing I want to try to do is maybe create some potential content. But I need to go ahead and re-log into my old Steam account and see if I can not play some bit of the games I have on there. Because why not? But lastly, I ended up picking up 2 retro games on my way through town. I ended up picking up Mega Man 3 for the NES. It cost me around $20, a little bit higher than the norm, but at the same point, I kind of wanted that copy because that thing's been there for, I kid you not, a good solid 3 to 4 months. So the other game that I bought was Xenogears. Now, Xenogears for the PlayStation 1 is one of those games where it's made by Square Enix. Square Enix back then was called Squaresoft before they acquired Enix in a merger. And this is one of those games where it's supposed to be one of those cult classic games where it's highly touted as a great role-playing game and stuff. I have the game digitally. I could download it on my Vita and play it if I technically wanted to. But I saw the original copy, which for sale for about $30, and I think, hey, you know what? I've been searching for a physical copy of that game for a better number of years now, so I added that to my collection. of growing PS1 games. But the thing about it that really struck me is kind of interesting is I looked at the conditioning of the discs. The conditioning of both discs are really good, and it even includes the manual to it. So, heck, it was in its original case and everything else, and I am quite happy because now I can officially say that I own a copy of Xenogears. I'm now missing like two Mega Man games for the NES. I basically need like 4 and wait, no. Actually, not 2. Yeah, 2. The original Mega Man and Mega Man 5 is what I need to try to find for the NES. So, other than that, man, I feel freaking good right now. I'm just relaxed. How about yourself, Tyler?
Doing all right. A little pooped. Justin's not here this week. He cool shit happened. Him and his girlfriend bought a house and helped to move into it today. Spent a good chunk of today helping to move into that. So definitely feel a little old today. This evening. After that, knees hurt, arms hurt. A little tired. But doing all right. Before we jump into like the video game side of stuff, haven't really played too much this week. Been more of a television week for me. I am one episode away from finishing the latest season of Doctor Who.
Nice.
Yeah, which is good timing because they're going to announce, as of this recording, it's Saturday night, they're going to announce the 13th Doctor tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to announce him sometime on Sunday.
That's awesome.
So maybe by the time you're hearing this, he could already be announced, he or she. And then also I am about an episode and a half away from, I rewatched the season 6 of Game of Thrones, which is the latest season. And season 7 starts tomorrow. So been just doing a lot of that. Enjoyed both. I watched season 6 already of Game of Thrones. Really enjoyed it. Doctor Who. One of the best seasons they've had in quite a long time. Probably my favorite so far, Peter Capaldi season, the 12th Doctor. He's been really good, but I felt like a lot of the episodes and the writing haven't been really good. So he's been doing a good job of acting and bringing up what he's been told to do and what he's expected to do. Finally, it seems like a good... unfortunately, this last season is the season they finally tie everything together and make everything work well, it seems like. That's... nothing too exciting going on with me. Oh! I did go to this past weekend, I went to a iCubs game. Iowa Cubs, which is the AAA affiliate to the Chicago Cubs. Kind of cool, actually. My work threw it together and with some friends from work. And it was actually in the skybox, which is kind of cool. Because it's pretty fucking hot here in Iowa right now, and probably most places in the United States. So it's kind of fun going around there, watching the game. Well, not really watching the game. A lot of times you hear a crack of a bat and you're like, oh shit, there's a baseball game going on right now. What the fuck? Really was just drinking beer and bullshitting. So that was kind of fun. Got to do that. Never done a skyboxing before, but that definitely seems like the way to go. Unfortunately, nothing else was free after that. Everything was incredibly expensive, beer and food. And somewhat gaming related here. Actually, is quite gaming related. I bought the art book to The Last Guardian.
Really?
Yeah, it came out a few weeks ago. And it's an art book. It's /book. It's a huge tabletop book. It's like 400 and some odd pages, and it shows a lot of rough. Hi, Tony. Shows a lot of rough drafts of the original Trico and the boy and characters and the general idea of what they had at the beginning, and then also telling the story of making the game and the whole process. I haven't finished. It's like I said, 400 some odd pages. I've only read the first 15, 20 pages. I've just been mesmerized by the art of the book.
Right.
Got it, Tony. So yeah, kind of what's going on with me. Nothing too crazy. Excuse me. Work, TV shows, and a little bit of gaming here and there. Mostly Madden. But since we're talking about, I guess, gaming, why don't we jump into what we've been playing?
Sure.
If it's cool with you, I'm gonna go first real quick.
Okay.
All right, I just played one game this week. It's a game called Typoman.
Okay.
Came out, I want to say 2 years ago on the Wii U and PC.
Yep.
And then it was released earlier this year on Xbox One and PS4. It's Typoman revised. I guess they added some content to the main story of it. But it is a game that looks very much like Limbo. Side-scroller, 2D. But the main kind of point of the game is there's some platforming elements to it, but it's not like there's not really to them. It's just kind of moving right to left at that point. There's no like nothing really hard about the platforming. But the main kind of selling point of the game is you are this weird creature thing made up of letters. I think there's a E. E is the body, O is the head, 2 L's are the arms, and I think like H or H or M is the legs. And you're going through this world, and these weird creatures are spelling out really like evil words like hate or fear, and they turn them into evil creatures that are trying to like kill you or attack you, whatever. And kind of what the game is like, you find these letters all over the place, and like anagrams or word scramblers, where it's you just find a jumbled bunch of letters and you gotta turn them into a word, and you gotta use them to either create a path to get to the next section, or create that as like an offensive maneuver or a way to protect yourself. So like sometimes you might find like this cannon that shoots at you and will kill you if it hits you. Well, you have this word scrambler, and you gotta like figure out like what words you need to use sometimes. So it's like, oh, what I got here? Oh, I can make the word cover, and like a little halo thing will come over you, circle thing will come over you and protect you from this thing. Other times you might be need a, like there's something like blocking your path, like these two like things that clamp together, and you need to like build a what's gap, and it'll create the word gap, and it'll create a gap there. And it's just really cool, kind of like it's really cool like unique ways to get through the world, and like cool little environment things where like sometimes you're running across a bridge and it'll say like robust, and then like you'll start walking across this bridge, and like the O and the B will disappear, and it'll say rust, and it starts collapsing on you as you're running across it.
Right.
And just like cool things like that.
So the words actually just like go forth that certain action or something like that once they form together.
Yeah, and like sometimes they'll trick you, like I said, like the robust thing going on a bridge, or like you'll see like the word part, and you'll walk up to it, and you think, oh, there's a puzzle here, and it'll like swing over and it'll smash you, and it spells trap, and so the word trap there, so it kills you, and then you got to figure out how to get past that section. It's really cool. For the most part, it is a trial and error kind of game, and I feel like a lot of times I moved on to the next section without actually solving the puzzle. More just like stumbling upon the answer. Because at some points, I mean, if you're depending on how well you are with like anagrams and shit like that, like it can be pretty tough, and using words. Sometimes you might not think some of the words like you can use in this game might not stick out to you. Like there's definitely a lot of sections I got stumped on for a while there, putting together and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. I had a couple glitches, one major one, another one where like I found, oh, you could spell it dead. I want to see, like I was spelling out random words sometimes, see what it does, because some words like, you spell it happy, and all of a sudden your character has a smiley face, or you spell it Lord and he has a top hat on. So I figured out, oh, I can spell dead in this anagram here. I spelled dead, and a tombstone falls on, kills you, and it was like there was a barrier that came up behind you, and so it respawned me on the other side of the barrier. Where I was at, but the barrier didn't come back down. So once I crossed it, the barrier came up. But now that I'm dead, I'm on the other side. I'm on the outside of where I was before, so it was blocking me. So I couldn't get to the next. I couldn't get back to where I was. And I'm guessing because it was a spot where you really couldn't die unless you typed out dead. I guess so. It must have been one of the rare cases that probably did that, or the creators of the game didn't think of that.
Right.
So I was lucky enough to restart the game and just back out, restart the game, and it respawned me back to where I could just play the game. Another part is the final boss, where the moment you kill the final boss, the game it freezes on you, and it pops you out of the game, and it asks you to, do you want to send a problem to the PlayStation Network?
What?
So yeah, so I beat the game 3 times. I beat the final boss 3 times, and every single time, the moment I defeated him, the game froze, kicked me out to the main menu. So obviously the game has is problems with the game. I had to go.
Wow.
Luckily, I got the trophies for beating the game. All but one of them for beating the game. There's one more trophy at the end there that I can't get because I can't actually finish the game. Finish the final cutscene, I should say. So I actually had to go online and watch the final 2-3 minutes of the final cutscene. The story doesn't really matter, so I wasn't really upset about that. I wasn't missing any gameplay. I technically beat the game still. I thought the final boss was okay. Yeah, I mean it's a fine game. I don't think it's I want to say $10 on PSN. I got it was half off on a sale, so I got it $5 a couple weeks ago. I don't know how much it was now. I think it might be back up to 10. But I mean, if you guys see it on sale, this is not like a run out and buy it right away thing. It's been out for a couple of years now, in places where you can probably have gotten it. But if you like the 2D side scroller type games, you like a Limbo style game, this is nowhere near as good as Limbo or Inside or anything like that. But it's a fun little game. You can beat it. I think I beat it in about 2 hours or so. So if you're really good at it, you could probably beat it in less. But yeah, it was a fun little platformer puzzle game. That it felt great. It's just, knock it off a bucket list kind of thing. I beat the game, deleted it off my PS4. I'm never gonna play it again, but it's a fun experience. I don't regret the time I invested in it. I beat all but the last 15 minutes of it actually.
Yeah.
In one sitting. I didn't realize it was that close to the ending, or I would have just kept playing. Like I said, fine game. If you see it cheap, I'm not gonna say buy it for $10, but if you see it cheap, pick it up, check it out. Fun game. What about you, Gables?
I've been playing a little bit this past week. I basically have gone through again. I've gone through ARMS again, but this time with a downloadable character, Max Barras. Now, the thing about Max Barras is he's the last guy you face in the ARMS campaign before you face off against him being controlled by Headlock. So what I've discovered while playing through ARMS again, probably the campaign for the last time, let's see, is how difficult it is to kind of control Max when it comes to progressing through the campaign. And that's because, for one, I was having a little bit of trouble learning how to use him. Because he has the 3 select punches where one of them is like a grenade punch, to where if you charge it up, you hit your opponent, it will actually have a blast and stuff once you do hit your opponent. So it just does a 1-2 combo automatically. But, just how heavy, how heavy the character is. Sometimes he doesn't move too fast, but he does pack quite a bit of power in terms of his attacks. Because he's got that. He's got some sort of weird poison punch arm as well. And of course, last is his fire hammer, which, that one came quite handy. It came out quite in handy when I was faced off against Headlock. And what's kind of funny about this is when you progress all the way through as Max Barras, you face off against yourself, and the little commentator Biff kind of makes little comments of oh, which one's the real Max Barras? This and that, and it's let's just say that the boss battle against Headlock, when you're playing it on level 4 as Max Barras and stuff, it's actually not so bad in terms of gameplay. Well, it's just because in terms of the difficulty and stuff like that, I mean. Well, for myself, I went through the entirety, and I did not have to keep on trying to beat Headlock over and over and over again. Because I ended up using the different types of arms combinations as Max Barras, with his grenade punch and his hammer, and then for the last time, I just went forth and I just used all fire hammers, and I managed to just beat him out, by just grabbing him, and then all of a sudden doing a couple more punches after that. But, you know what, he's not bad to play as. He's a little bit difficult to learn at first, because the movement and because the movements and stuff like that. Plus, he kind of gets a little bit more bulkier and stuff when he starts to power up a little bit. That's when you're like right at the last sliver of your health and stuff to try to make his attacks more powerful. Let's see. I did have a chance to play the Splatoon 2 demo. And well, let me say this though. Splatoon 2, playing a little bit of that online, I was reminded like how much I do not like playing like certain like first person shooters or any type of like shooter based games or something online. Because the thing about Splatoon 2, it has great gameplay. The weapons and everything else, the ultimate moves that each weapon has, they're really fun to use. I basically played like a handful of matches. I would say like about 6 or 7 matches in total. Across like 2 or 3 different maps. And I'll say this though. I love the fact that they keep the same type of gameplay that they had with the original Splatoon. I really like the idea of of the whole Splatfest things like still being a thing. You know, I chose the Team Ice Cream stuff and I went through and I started winning a couple matches first off, then all of a sudden the game starts to pair you off with more people who are still new or probably have never played Splatoon before because probably a lot of them didn't own a Wii U. And all of a sudden you just keep on losing and losing and losing. It's like I kid you not, like 3 matches in a row, won another, and then it's like for the rest of the night I just felt like I kept on losing matches because we were paired off against people that were surprisingly very good in terms of teamwork and in terms of how they were able to like cover the entire map like with the paint and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, it started to piss me off when I started running into people with the freaking sniper, like ink weapon and stuff, because what happens is when you press its special, it basically goes through where it could shoot an almost like a direct beam or something like that to where you're located. Like it could even like hit you like across like through certain like objects and stuff like that, certain terrains. I ended up being the victim of that like in one match. But I will say, though, it was really fun to go across, like, these new maps and just use, like, the different forms of weapons. I mean, with this demo, I was only able to, like, test out the standard weapons for Splatoon 2. So, I'm very happy that there's more type of equipable stuff that are going to be going onto these weapons and, like, different types of varieties of weapons. It was kind of disappointing that they didn't add any of the newer like weapons that you could be using. I mean, I got like the dual pistols and stuff, and the dual pistols were not so bad.
Those are the ones I really want. I think they're like the dualies. I really want to try those ones.
They call them the dualies and stuff like that, which they do exactly what you would expect. You know, it's basically almost like twin pistols or something like that, or twin Uzis, where they just shoot rapidly, but they lose their ink really fast. And
story of my life.
But another thing, though, while going on this match and stuff, the gameplay, there was no lag. There was hardly any like issues in terms of drop matches, like in the middle of the thing. So the stability was pretty good. Although, like even after certain matches completes and stuff like that, there were like random drops when I was trying to get into a match. So they probably are going to be working a little bit more with the online infrastructure when Splatoon 2 does come out. I think eventually when I do get Splatoon 2, I'm probably going to focus more on the single player aspect like I did. Probably play some bit of multiplayer, see what I can do. But I'm not going to get any serious with it, to be perfectly honest with you. Because I think my main extent with the multiplayer is probably going to be how it is with Splatoon 1, where I'm just going to play like the Turf Wars stuff. And then just be happy with that. Probably play with some friends if I want to, and just have a little bit of fun here and there. But other than that, though, there is one final game I wanted to talk about. Last Sunday, I ended up trading in Ghost Recon Wildlands. that's the game that I ended up platinuming, like, what was it, last month in June? Yeah. So I platinumed the game in June, and I did not know what I wanted to do with it. So I got about, $20 of store credit, which, take it or leave it. It was probably the better option that I wanted to do just to get rid of it. But I used that credit to buy a game for my Switch. And I ended up buying Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Ooh.
Well, first off, I was surprised that I found a physical copy of that game, considering that game, physically, there was only a few thousand, maybe it had to be something crazy like under 100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it was
copies.
It was just like a small run at the beginning at the launch.
They were basically having, Sega was only doing like a limited physical run with that game. And all the other places you can buy it digitally through the PlayStation Store, through the Nintendo's eShop, eShop and stuff. So basically, what the game is you can play Puyo Puyo, which is the equivalent of they're like jelly-like creatures and stuff that you can match like 4 of the same color and they'll disappear. The main catch though is you have to try to get chains throughout the game and stuff between the Puyo Puyo and the Tetraminos, stuff. There are some difficulties I've been having with the Puyo Puyo stuff, only because I'm not too familiar with that puzzle. I've only played maybe a bits of Puyo Puyo in terms of Sonic, not Sonic, but Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. With that experience from Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection when I used to play that on the PS3. But I'll kid you not, man. It starts out basic and stuff, but it can really get difficult quite fast, especially when you're playing the story mode. And then you have to try to solve and try to beat specific players and stuff and try to get past certain things. Just the difficulty factor and stuff like that just seems really mixed, in my personal opinion. But I'll tell you what, man, the story mode it's kind of laughable, to be perfectly honest with you. It's sort of like a cutesy, kind of kid-friendly sort of story mode where you have all these cute little anime characters saying this and saying that. So the story, in my personal opinion and stuff, it's kind of forgettable. Some of the voice acting can be kind of annoying with the characters. But you have the option to skip them if you want, and then just get into the meat and potatoes of the game, which is basically either playing matches against certain computer characters, playing Puyo Puyo. Sometimes you're playing Tetris. Sometimes you're doing marathon runs with either clearing a specific line for either Puyo Puyo pieces or Tetris pieces or something like that. But there's a new thing that they introduced in this game where you can actually swap boards between Puyo Puyo and Tetris. So you'll probably have a minute to play something on the Puyo Puyo board, then it switches to a Tetris board. So you gotta balance those two boards at the same time, pretty much. To where you'll only spend a number of time on one board before switching to another, and the main goal is to try to fill up your opponent's board so much that they basically lose. So yeah, there's different number of ways you can win a specific match. You could fill up the entire board of your opponent. You could have the best score, out of the time meter, whatever's left and stuff. I will say this, though. The game has been getting a bit frustrating for me. Overall, I feel the gameplay is really good. Because, for one, Tetris is really good. For another, Puyo Puyo, though it's been difficult for me to try to pick up and learn and try to do the chains articulatingly. It's still pretty fun. But I will say this, though. There are little bits of difficulty spikes that occur in the story mode, which really piss me off. I kid you not. At this point in time, I've been playing a little bit of Puyo Puyo Tetris off and on today, finishing up, Act 3, which each act consists of, 10 levels. So, from looking up game facts online, there's about 50 levels in the story mode. And I'm all the way up to about 45 or something like that. No, more like 35 or so. But anyway, what I'm meaning by difficulty spikes is there are some which are very easy to progress through, but I came across this one match, like this one mission today, where it almost took me about an hour just to clear things because I was doing a Tetris battle, right? And somehow my opponent kept freaking getting like chain after chain after chain, and I would be constantly losing matches. Like again and again, like 4 or 5 times in a row, I end up losing before I finally went ahead and I somehow, through sheer luck, managed to outsmart the AI. And that's a feeling in a video game I absolutely hate. The feeling that I'm depending upon luck in order to clear a specific spot instead of skill. I mean, yeah, it takes skill to wait certain like times and stuff in order to complete a line for clear out like the Tetraminos and like the Puyo Puyo stuff. It's another skill in and of itself to match chains and stuff. But I'll tell you what's not skill, and that's depending upon the erraticness of how an AI opponent is going to nonchalantly just do the right thing at the right time and stuff like that. But with those kind of frustrations, like in mine and stuff, I gotta admit though, I have been enjoying myself playing Puyo Puyo Tetris. I mean, granted, I don't think it's going to be on anybody's top 10 lists or something like that. And more than likely it'll be part of mine because, hey, I do like puzzle games. This is definitely different enough to where I feel it's kind of a little bit more noteworthy because despite my anger and kind of frustration on starting playing specific missions, I've still been having pretty much, like, good fun with this game. But, otherwise, though, that's pretty much what I've been playing for this week.
That's pretty cool, though, man. I've been thinking about checking out Puyo Puyo
Tetris.
Puyo Tetris. Fuck it. Puyo. Fuck. God damn it.
Just say poo.
Poo.
Yo. So you just say Puyo Tetris.
Puyo Tetris.
Yep. There you go.
Puyo Tetris. Got it. Yes. Learning with Gables.
I know it's a tongue twister though, but oh my gosh! If
Lip
my
twister.
Recommendation for you, if you do pick up the game, pick it up when it becomes cheaper.
Yeah.
Wait for a sale.
Yeah. If anything, I might just get it on digitally or something like that.
Get it digitally through the PS4 or whatsoever, man.
Save $10.
Yeah.
For a sale. Whatever.
I don't see the game going on sale like in the near future on the Switch. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I doubt it. There's not a lot of. They don't really have to do sales right now. But yeah. I mean, maybe eventually. Probably not this year. But it does look like a pretty fun gameplay. Well, let's go ahead and jump on to some of the news. Not a lot going on this week. We are definitely in the summer doldrums of video gaming.
Yep.
As far as news, well, next week we'll have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 beta, Splatoon 2's out. Yeah, so it should be a fun week for playing games. Just not so much learning new information about games. Kind of the first thing that happened was D23 is going on this weekend. It's a big Disney event that goes on every year. Usually it deals more with like the kids side of things and actual like Disney Channel, Disney shows, stuff like that. But every now and again you get news about Marvel and other things in the Disney universe. So one thing we got was a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like a 5.5 minute long trailer. And it actually takes place in the Toy Story universe, which is kind of cool. All the cutscene and everything is in Japanese. So all the cutscenes I think we got so far have been Japanese that we've seen. But it's cool. First time ever, I think, at least in the main run of them with Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, that we're going to Toy Story. And it's supposed to be coming out in 2018. I don't know. I'm just curious. Have you seen the trailer yet?
Oh, no. I have not seen the trailer yet in terms of like the Kingdom Hearts unveiled with Toy Story. But I've seen little GIFs. I've seen little things that have been shared on Twitter and stuff. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird, but it's so really cool.
Yeah, like at one point in the trailer, you jump into like a mech and start fighting other characters in the Toy Story world, or what are the Heartless or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. I think the 2018 release period is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a Square Enix game. That game will be out in 2020 probably. Just wasn't it just like a couple years, like a couple months ago, they said those games are a few years away.
Yes, they did.
So now all of a sudden it's a year and a half away. No,
I don't believe that shit at all.
In all honesty, best case scenario, early 2019 to me.
To be perfectly honest and stuff, it'll be a fucking miracle if that game releases before 2020.
Yeah, definitely. I would be more shocked if that game came out in 2018 than if it came out in 2022.
God, let's look at it this way. Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, came out around like 2005 or something like that.
Yeah, there's a quick turnaround between. I think 2003 was Kingdom Hearts 1, so it's a fairly quick turnaround.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 2003. So now we're talking. I mean, there's been like 90 million Kingdom Hearts games that come out on everything but consoles since then. But no one really gives a shit about those games. So yeah, You know, I've gotten over Kingdom Hearts 3 being a thing, and even though now it is a thing, I've actually really lost a lot of interest in Kingdom Hearts. But I'm hoping maybe more information comes out on it, more things we've seen. What we've seen so far looks pretty cool. So they're showing me the right shit that I want to see. I just don't know if I can figure out that storyline because the 90 million games released all tie into they're not like side games, they tie into the main story. So that's a bit of a problem for me because I don't want to play most of those games because I've heard a lot of them are bad. Yeah, could be cool. It's exciting. We're actually seeing some gameplay now and not just hearing it's in development or getting cutscenes. Next up, this is kind of I think a fairly cool thing, kind of a weird thing also. Resident Evil Revelations was a 3DS game from like 2012 or 13. I actually talked about it on the very first episode of this podcast over 4 years ago. So I guess it came out like 2012 then. It came out, I think, shortly after the 3DS launch. But it was a pretty fun kind of Metroid style Resident Evil game. Third person, fought these weird ooze creatures. I played it. They released it for 360 and PS3 back in the day. Now it's coming out sometime this year for Xbox One and PS4. It's got a release date in Japan of August 31st, I imagine. Excuse me. It's going to be about that same time.
Yeah.
I got hiccups. I'm curious, though. Did you ever play these games? The original one?
I never played Resident Evil Revelations.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest, it didn't really strike a chord with me at the time. Only because at that time and stuff, we didn't have a 3DS that had like a second analog stick.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically was like a touch screen, it was basically like a touchscreen control, like aim control, similar to what like maybe Kid Icarus was.
Oh yeah,
or Kid Icarus Uprising was. So that really didn't appeal to me that way. But what is this? This game like coming like the PS4 and Xbox One, pretty much.
Yeah, here in a next probably month or two.
I'm not too sure how my interest lies with it. Maybe, but I'm not going to buying anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, I mean, if it came out like this time, maybe I'd be a little more interested in it. I'm curious. I like the game a lot. I think we talked about it a few times on the show back in the day. The Revelations 2 was really disappointing, I thought. I liked the episodic way they did one with it when it was broke up into 4 parts, but the game just wasn't all that great. The gameplay was fine, but just kind of the story beats and then the elements they put you in was not fun at all. And some of the weird mechanics they added into it were kind of dumb. And playing as like 6 different characters or 3 different characters or whatever it was, kind of sucked. But I really enjoyed Revelations. It was a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise. And I hope if it comes out, it's I don't know if it's a downloadable or if it's a physical title. I imagine it'll be digital, but I don't know if it's gonna be physical copies. But if it comes out and it's like $15-$20, I'd be probably more than happy to pick it up, check it out again, depending on what's going on at that time, gameplay-wise. But I imagine I'll play this through again eventually. But yeah, it's a fun little shooter Resident Evil game if you want like an old-school Resident Evil game with some Metroid-style kind of elements to it. Great game to pick up, a lot of fun. Don't take the story seriously at all because it's dumb. But yeah, definitely one of the best Resident Evil games I've played since probably the best Resident Evil game I played since 4. Although, be fair, have only played a few hours of 7. But other than that, it's been my favorite Resident Evil game. So yeah, check that out when we get more news. Next up, Pokemon Sun and Moon. There is a Pokemon event going on right now where you can actually get a very rare Pokemon. That is Tapu Koko. Tapioca. Got it. Okay.
So let me just introduce like the listeners and stuff to what potentially you're going to be getting once this downloadable like a creature comes into event today. I think what was it like today? No, it was the 13th that I just came by. So basically, this runs all the way up to around like for a month. So you have a month to download your free shiny Tapu Koko, which has, from what I've been reading off of Cerebi and stuff, it's apparently timid nature. It has a held item called Electric Seed, which I don't know what exactly that does.
Sounds sexy.
But it's got a few types of moves which are kind of interesting. There's a move that's called Nature's Madness, which is a fairy type move. It's a special attack, but the thing about it is you can it halves the HP of your opponent by like 50%, pretty much. It cuts the opponent's hit points by 50% of the current value. So basically what that means is if your opponent has like full health, you can cut it by half, apparently. So that's pretty freaking good. You got moves like Agility and like Discharge and Electro Ball, which they're all playing into like the whole speed build for Tapu Koko. So if you're a big fan of Pokemon Sun and Moon and you really want yourself a decent, maybe competitive creature, go on ahead, download it. It's free.
Yeah. Can't beat that. It's cool that they're still supporting Sun and Moon, especially with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon coming out soon.
Oh, I know, especially since this is the second gift Pokemon that Sun and Moon has actually went forth and like released since Sun and Moon's release, like almost like 6-7 months ago. That's just crazy. Well, actually, it was more like last November, but almost a year.
Yeah, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, doing that. You're not kind of throwing it off to the side for the most part. So, yeah. Next up, this is definitely a throwback right here. Namco Museum. I don't know if people, the damn millennials these days remember, but every console ever around launch would get a collection of games from Namco called Namco either Collection or Namco Museum. We got those with like PS1, Dreamcast, PS2, 64, GameCube, on and on and on. And I don't think it's really been a thing the last generation. I don't think maybe not even 360, PS3, but it was around forever. But anyways, there is a Namco Museum coming to Nintendo Switch. I don't think there is a release date for it yet, but there's 10 games announced for it so far. One is Pac Man, Galaga 88. I think that's the arcade version. Dig Dug, Tower of Druga, Sky Kid, Rolling Thunder 2, Splatterhouse, Tank Force. But the real reason we're talking about this game is that Pac Man Versus is coming to the Nintendo or the Namco Museum, which is was a Nintendo GameCube game. Yeah, in 2003. And the only way you can actually play it, I actually completely forgot this game existed. I think a lot of people did too. Is that the only way you could play this game was by owning Pac Man World 2, which was like a shitty platforming Pac Man game. But you needed to have the GameCube's link cable to the Game Boy Advance. And the way it worked was I think you had 4 advances and support cables and a GameCube to play this, plus the copy of Pac Man World 2. And one player would control the Pac-Man, and then the other three players would control Ghost, and you can only see like a limited view where your Ghost was, so you couldn't actually see where Pac-Man was. So that's coming to the Namco Museum to the Switch. No idea how that's gonna work. I don't know if like
I kind of have somewhat of an idea. I mean, let's
Okay.
think of it this way. Back in the day, you had to have those Game Boy little cables and stuff to connect to the GameCube. I had one of those. Those are not.
I had
Those
one
were
too.
not really that useful for some
No.
aspects. The only time I ever had a chance to use my Game Boy Advance to like GameCube cable was when I was playing Wind Waker, and I had
Yeah.
to use that for a map.
Same. I used to control Tingle for Justin when he played through Wind Waker. I'd play as Tingle.
But getting back to this Pac Man versus stuff, I could see this potentially being like a good thing for people who have like extra Joy-Cons and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Well, let's think of it that way. It's a Pac Man versus co-op sort of experience and stuff. We can experience it now by just having like a few extra pair of Joy-Cons. Basically have like the player with their Pro Controller playing on the TV, then having like maybe your friends controlling some of the Joy-Cons and stuff as the ghosts or something like that. Or if your friend brings a Joy-Con with them, because fuck, those things are not cheap.
No,
So
no, $50 pop.
make them shell out fucking $40 a Joy-Con or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that part makes sense. We could just do couch co-op 4-player. I'm just kind of curious how like the limited view of the ghost would work when you're looking at the
Yeah.
same screen. I imagine that part would have to go away.
It would have to be some sort of like split screen stuff going on.
Yeah, I guess that can work too. But obviously, people are going to be using, looking at screen, was it screen stealing or what the hell it was called? Friends and all
Screen
that.
swapping or something like that.
Yeah. When you just look at your friend and see where he wasn't playing Goldeneye, he's like, oh, he's there. Okay, I'm gonna go there now. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I remember the link cable. That thing was useless. I remember I got one, and I think the only time I ever really used it, and I couldn't actually use it, was with Zelda's Four Sword Adventure came out, and I started playing it. But it's like I was hoping I could play single player, but you actually have 4 people with 4. You had to have 4 people with 4 Game Boy Advances with 4 copies of Zelda: Link to the Past and 4 link cables and a GameCube.
Yeah,
to
good
play
luck
that
with
game.
that shit.
Yeah, then they made another 4. I don't think Game Boy actually played that game, but they eventually did make another one for the Game Boy or for the GameCube you could play. But the whole thing sucked. So I'm glad that people maybe because probably 4 people and ever in history probably played that game. Now other people have the opportunity to play that game again or for the first time ever. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. It's still weird to me that the Namco Museum is still a thing. I remember having a copy of that game on PlayStation in like 1997. So the fact they're still making that, and it's for the most part the same as that game's. It's funny to me. What the fuck is Namco doing? I want to know. But yeah, you know what? That might actually do it for the week. Like I said, not a lot going on. We'll have more to talk about next week. I'm gonna be playing Destiny for sure. Destiny 2 beta. I know Gables will probably be playing. He's fiending. He's foaming from the mouth right now, excited to play Destiny 2 beta. It's all for like an hour and a half. I listened to him talk about how excited he was for Destiny 2 beta before we started the show. So I know he's been playing that nonstop. Probably have a show based around it. Probably be a 3-hour show. So you might want to clear your schedule next Sunday, because that's what we're going to be talking about. And maybe we'll get around to Splatoon 2. So yeah. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for listening. We have, if you want to hear more from us, we have a Facebook page and group. It is Drunk Dash Nerds on there. So like and join us. Also on Twitch at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there. On YouTube, it is Drunk Nerds Podcast. Subscribe and like the videos because the podcast goes on there as well. So subscribe to that. Also, we're on iTunes. The podcast is Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast. Give us a 5-star review. Type something out really nice, please. We'll shout you on the show if you do. And then also we're on Twitch at Drunk Nerds Podcast. So follow us on there. So check us out on those places if you want to hear more from us. Better than that, I have been your host. I have been Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next week, everyone, game on and have yourself a pleasant week.
Love you guys.
See ya.
Excuse me. You too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.